You might want to slow your roll there, dear. Yeah, apparently Paramount wants to buy Warner Brothers. I'm like, you haven't even sorted yourself out from your merger, for God's sakes, and you want to buy another studio? You haven't even got one working properly yet. That scares me on so many levels. But it really, I'm trying to be funny, but it's really depressing. I mean, we lost 20th Century Fox. I grew up with the big studios. You know, you had 20th Century Fox, Paramount, Warner Brothers. You know, these were legendary, iconic studios. When you saw those logos come up at the start of a film or the end of a TV show, it meant something. And Disney bought 20th Century Fox and dismantled it and took it apart, and MGM was sold as well, and now their content is just somewhere existing as content. And the studio is gone, the legacy is gone. It's horrifying to think these big sort of tentpole studios couldn't keep their name and their brand together. But yeah, so now Warner Brothers is in trouble. They merged Warner Brothers and Discovery, and that didn't work. So now they're unmerging them. So they're having problems, and Paramount apparently is putting together a bid to buy them. And I didn't understand, like, why do people just how people just buy these companies? Can't they just say no? I'm like, no, if they're owned by shareholders and the shareholders vote because they can get more money for their shares or something if someone else buys it, or they can just sell it right out under the people who are running. I'm like, oh, Jesus, if I had a business, I don't think I'd ever go public because you don't have any control anymore. Or something. I don't really understand business because I don't do business. That's okay. I don't run a business, so I don't need to know how they work. But I know how Hollywood works, though. But yeah, so I don't want Warner slash Paramount, Paramount slash Warner Brothers. I want them to keep their own identities and be separate. So the idea that they're just going to cannibalize it, and now all their content, all the classic Warner Brothers films are now Paramount films. I mean, my God, Betty Davis would bitch slap the hell out of whoever's standing, you know, at the head of Paramount and be done with it. But yeah, I just and the other things, it's Skydance, who now owns Paramount, is a conservative right wing company, and they're gonna ruin anything that was diverse, and it's depressing. Like right now, I'm like trying to stop a headache. It's like, oh God, I hated the Kurtzman era. It's already over. I hated the Kurtzman era, and I prayed for someone to save it when they got rid of Les Moonves because he was allegedly sexually assaulting women all over the place and a horrible person, which explains why I can't say the F word, why he did what he did to Star Trek. What he did to Star Trek, he did to women, basically. He violated them and destroyed them. So when they got rid of him, I thought, thank God it's saved, but they didn't change anything. They just got another douche to come in who didn't know what Star Trek was and take over. And then when they remerged Paramount and CBS and all that again, I was like, oh, this will save it. And like, no, all the contracts are still in place. They're just all owned by one studio, and they don't have to worry about suing each other or getting in trouble with the other competing company. Now they're the same company who own the same contract, so nothing changed. And then it's like, well, if they sell to a new studio, they're going to come in and want to redo everything and do everything their way. Even if it's working fine, they're going to redo it because their way is going to be better, of course. That's what always happens. And by default, Star Trek could be saved. And that may be true on one level, because it looks like Kurtzman's out. He's making a bunch of pictures, he's acting like he's still running the show, and they're like, we don't want to pay you to make Star Trek when we can just make it ourselves for cheaper and make it better. You're giving us nothing. So I think he's gone. But the problem with that is, who are they going to get to run it now? Because maybe they get someone just as ignorant who creates a show just as lowbrow for the same, lowest common denominator general audience. So it may be just as bad as what Kurtzman did, but conservative. So at least with Kurtzman we had diversity and gay characters and trans characters, even though they weren't handled very well, but at least we got something. We had a black female captain running the show. She was awful, but she was still a black woman, running an action show. There were a couple of things they got right with that era. A couple of things. But those things are now going to be all undone. So now we're going to have nothing. No representation, no diversity, no science fiction, no intelligence, just a brand name, generic, dumbed down at best, young adult CW low bar, CW style show